So what we're going to do in this section is look at motion paths. So we're going to look at simulating just flying the aircraft above the clouds. Okay, so you can see now all I've got on the stage at the moment is a PNG image of some clouds. Got this from Google. There's loads out there for free you can use, so just Google PNG clouds and you can see you get a nice one like this. So I'm going to just position that in the corner there, and I'm going to put an aircraft there which will just allow me to fly above the clouds. So as always, insert pictures, and this time I'm going to go for the left side. You can see it comes in a little bit too big, so again I can just size that down to a size which makes it a bit more easier to use. So that's about right. To animate it's quite simple. Just go to animations, and this time I'm going to add an animation, and we're going to go for a motion path. So you can see there's lots of different types of motion paths you can use here. Even more if you go into this here, you can see there's so many different shapes you can use for motion paths. Okay, but for me, I'm going to get rid of that one and remove. So I'm going to go to add animations, and I'm just going to use an arc for this one here. So you can see the aircraft will fly along that arc. Not quite the position I want it, but that's quite easily rectified. So if I right click on that arc there, okay, and what it'll allow me to do is, let's get that right, is edit the points. So what I can do now is select these points, and again just move them to where I need to. And what that'll do is it'll amend the path and allow us to move the aircraft where we need to as well. So again, we can move these points around to make it a bit more of a smoother transitions. If we need to, we can right click, we can delete the points if we need to, we can add points. So you can see what we can do is just amend that curve to whatever shape we require. And so just to amend a few of the options, so I'll keep the smooth ends and starts on there, but for timing I'm just going to make it slightly slower. So this one is 5 seconds. So if I play the animation now, you can see the aircraft will fly around the clouds, which is really, really cool. So again, Shift F5 just to run the animation in full screen. So click, and you see the aircraft now would run and then move above the clouds, which is really cool. Motion paths are incredibly good in PowerPoint and allow you to animate flying circuits, movements, all sorts of things, and we'll look a bit more of that a bit later in the tutorial. So that's a very basic look at motion paths. Okay, we're going to continue with our look at motion paths in this video and look at how we combine motion paths together and also combine that with other elements of animation such as rotations. All I've got on the screen at the moment is just some standard shapes. I've got like a little fake runway here, which is a rectangle, some dashed lines, and also like an oval shape as well. So they're just basic drawings just to give it a bit of shape for this tutorial. Next thing I'm going to do is look at inserting the picture again. So again, navigate to where you've got your image repository on your machine, and this one I'm going to use top small. Insert that, and I'm just going to move that into the correct position and size it. A bit like that, easy peasy. A bit smaller, and that's about the right size. To start the animations, we're going to look at selecting the aircraft, okay, and going to animations, add animations, and this time we're going to look at our motion paths. So first one we're going to look at is a line. You can see it's not going in the correct position, so it's quite easy to sort that out. We just grab that little red dot and move that into the correct position, and that will be roughly about there. So that's our first motion path put in. I'm just going to select the effect options there and just up the timing to about 5 seconds just to make it a bit slower. And when we press the animation, so we preview the animation, you see it flies to the end of that line quite nicely. Next step, we're going to look at putting another animation on that same object. So select the object again, add animation, and we'll go for motion path again. This time we're going to use an arc. Completely in the wrong position, but that's quite easy to sort out. So if we put the aircraft in this position at the end of the last animation. Sorry, actually we're going to move that like that actually, because the green is the start and the red is the finish. So we'll rotate that round like so, and we'll just position that so it's around about there. Right click, edit points again, so we'll just pull that one down to the end position where we want the aircraft. And it's just a matter of, like we did in the last tutorial, is just amend the handles there to make the path match the shape we want it to fly around. In this case it's like a semicircle. So use those handles and just pull them and just get them into the right position. Pretty simple really. I mean, that's a bit rough and ready, but you can see what we're going to do. Again, we'll select that animation and we're going to go options and set the timing to 5 seconds. And it will fly around that path like that. So simulating flying around that line. One more. So add animation again and just another simple line. So moving the green start into the end of the last path, and the red finish, are we going to finish around about there. Again, final thing, timing 5 seconds. And you'll see it flies backwards. So if I was now to preview the animation, click round, first animation flies a line, second animation it flies the curve but the wrong way around, and then the third animation then clicks the aircraft around that straight line again. So flying backwards, which is kind of a big feat for an aircraft, but that's very easily fixed. Let's fix that one. So we're going to add another animation. So select the aircraft again, add animation. This time we're going to go for a spin. Okay, so effect options again, and what we're going to do is make it a half spin, and we're going to make that counterclockwise because we want it to turn in the direction of the curve there. Make it a smooth start, smooth finish, just to give it a bit more easing. And timing, we're going to match the 5 seconds which we've got for each of the motion paths there. And you can see now it will spin 180 degrees in 5 seconds. Now to make that spin in the correct position, we're going to just move that animation up to just under the motion path with the arc, and what we're going to do is select that one there and go start with previous, so that animation will run when it starts on that curve. So preview animation, you can see first one flies the line, second one flies round the corner and the third one, now the aircraft will fly along the runway. So all we've done is simulate a kind of flying a circuit in an aircraft, so you can add whatever legs you want there and all the information on the circuit. But you can see this is a very easy way of combining motion paths and rotations to give you some more lifelike animations.